Anyways, I bought.
How far?
I was thinking.
Hoha is from your perspective. Don't be saying hoha.
It's not my own
It's from your perspective, for fuck's sake.
No, because I walked in the middle of conversation. I walked in the middle of conversation where Cross was mid-sentence saying
he cannot do it.
I can't do that, they will cut my head. And I said, yes, they will.
Okay. So do you know...
But what were you out there saying to Cross?
Days. Do you know
because he already told me what he said.
Too much.
Why are you shouting?
Down.
If you didn't say anything fugazi, why are you shouting?
Because you are not letting me speak.
You know, for real, yeah. I watched Soma and Venita's, back and forth, their argument last night. And guys, in as much as it was quite exhausting, I was also having a good laugh. Because you see, yeah, one thing about these housemates is, save for maybe a selected few, most of them will never take responsibility for their actions. These people can literally destroy something, probably even burn down the whole house. And they would constantly point fingers, and blame people for miscommunication or misinformation. And that was exactly what was going on between Soma and Venita last night. As a matter of fact, their argument, in fact, the reason for their argument did not start last night. It was something that started yesterday morning when Big Brother had, informed the housemates to prepare for their weekly shopping. Yes, and that shopping was almost going to be a disaster. Save for the fact that Cross decided to, control himself, to be very, very kind and warm and understanding to everybody. Guys, as I said, that shopping would have been a disaster. And you see, last night's argument between these two people was so funny because Venita was sort of blaming her overreaction towards Cross on the misinformation that she got from Soma. And Soma was trying to explain to her that what you think is the truth is not what it seems to be. So guys, it's a bit complicated because even whilst they were going back and forth about it, it was almost going to become confusing. But let's get into this video. I will do my best to give you all the details as I witnessed on TV, yes, and also listening to these housemates conversations. All right, so let's get into it. And I want to urge you all to please do not skip so that you do not miss out on any part. All right, and of course I would love to hear your thoughts about this matter, this drama. So please go ahead and share in the comment section below. And officially, you are all specially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bbnaija. This is Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija, and I am the girl with the T. If you're yet to become a part of this community officially, please do not hesitate to do exactly what you see on your screen. Please subscribe and turn on your post notification bell to always receive lots of my videos whenever I upload a new one. Now, all of that said, let's quickly proceed with the details of this conversation. Now, let's take it from the top. So yesterday morning, Biggie had informed the housemates that they had about 30 minutes to contribute coins together for their weekly shopping. Now, a lot of you might be wondering like, oh, why are they still shopping? Despite the fact that they lost their wager. Well, in case you missed it, this was a new rule that Biggie introduced last week on Friday when they were having their wager presentation. Yes, that was the same day that he had also introduced the concept of the wager judges. Now, according to Big Brother, whether or not they win their wager, they will still have the privilege to shop. Now, the clause attached to the new rule is if they win their wager, the money they have staked will be used for their shopping. But if they lose their wager, they will have to dig into their personal coins or their personal banks to bring money out to shop. Now, Big Brother was quite tricky with that new rule because prior to him bringing that new rule, 3 weeks before then, Biggie had been staking all the housemates' weekly allowance, yes, to shop for the house. And that is because of the likes of ADEKUNLE and Venita, who would constantly hoard almost half of the house supplies of food for only both of them, whilst the whole house will starve. And so because of that, a lot more people started hoarding food as well. And that sort of created some sort of hunger pandemic, whatever you want to call it, yes. But it became a hunger situation in the house, and these housemates would constantly complain endlessly to Big Brother about it. So Big Brother decided to devise a solution. Now, the first solution he came up with was, okay, the minimum stake would no longer be 100 money point coins, but 200. Now, obviously, the housemates did not like it. And despite the fact that Big Brother increased their minimum stake, the hoarding continued. People became even more selfish because they felt like, oh, I am staking higher now, so I should be able to eat more and hoard more food. So Big Brother decided that, okay, fine. A second solution would now be to literally stake everything, all their weekly allowance, which is they're doing, right? And seeing that the housemates started taking it for granted, because, Biggie is taking everything, so let me kukusha eat the whole house. Everyone decided that, okay, fine, since people are going to stress me, I'm going to stress you as well. Hence the reason this new system, was birthed. Now, fast forward to yesterday, the housemates had lost their wager on Friday, so normally they cannot shop with their stake, yes, because they lost. And so yesterday, by virtue of Big Brother's instruction, Cross had struggled to summon the whole house, to the lounge for that particular exercise. And oh my God, guys, it took him almost forever, because this guy kept on begging and begging and begging people to come out. A lot of people did not want to come out. Now, when they now finally did, he told them that, okay, fine, this is Big Brother's instructions, we need to stake. Now, a lot of people did not want to stake because, of course, these housemates are greedy and selfish. Now, a lot of them did not want to stake. So Cross had to reiterate that it was Big Brother's instruction, and Biggie was going to send a ninja to come collect their coins in a bit. Now, to set the ball rolling, Cross had gone ahead to, set a minimum stake, which was 200. And a lot of people did not really have issues with it because they knew that they were short of food supplies. So a lot of people were actually, staking. And then only Venita came out and was rebelling that no, she cannot, that she has worked her ass off for her money point coins. She cannot stake more than, she cannot stake 200. 200 is too much. That how can she be staking so much money and then she cannot enjoy the money? I'm like, really? Like, if there's anybody that should complain about that minimum stake, it should not be Venita. It shouldn't even be Adekunle, because these two people, guys, let's call it spade a spade. These people are the gluttons of the season. Yeah, when it comes to people that hoard food, it is these two people. So listening to her yesterday going on and on about she cannot that Cross had no right. Like this girl, she was literally saying that Cross had no right to tell them that the minimum stake was 200. And Cross was like, but nobody has issues with this. People have staked their money. You're the only person complaining. Pere walked away. Neo walked away. Cross like, no, they did not walk away. They went to go and bring their money. And she was making a big deal out of it. Or she was just shouting, overreacting, vibrating. Cross now said, okay, fine. To make Venita happy, he said, okay, the minimum stake is now 100 money point coins. Venita said, that 100 coins, they should use it to buy just bread for her, and she's fine. She and Adekunle, they will eat it with egg. Guys, do you know why she said that? Because they've packed food that they've gone to go and hide for a rainy day. Adekunle was sort of not putting himself in a situation, but his own stance. And you see, guys, initially Adekunle actually wanted to drop that 200, but when Venita started making noise, he too now retreated. I was saying that, why should he drop a lot of money when there's a likelihood of him getting evicted the next day? That he wasn't going to drop a lot. Anyways, fast forward. Venita dropped the 100. And guys, if you see the money Adekunle packed out, it was a lot. These people brought out money. They staked, and later on, Soma had gone to go and tell Venita that it seems like Cross wants to play fast on the whole house, that Cross does not want to contribute his own money. So what he wants to do is he wants to use the money that everybody contributed to go and do a general house shopping. And you see, some people actually staked 400, some people staked 200, and that's because they want to give 200 or maybe half of their stake to the house for general shopping, and then they were going to use the other half for their own personal shopping. So someone went to go and tell Venita that Cross wants to use all that money for a general house shopping, thereby depriving other people of their own personal items that they want to shop for. The ninja had come to collect the coins. Afterwards, Venita was already shouting and raking inside the house, inside the dressing area. She was threatening thunder and brimstone about how she was going to make life difficult for Cross, how she was going to deal with him if he pulls through with his mischief. Yes, that's what Soma had actually told her. And before we knew it, she had been raking around the house, going on and on, talking about how she's going to drag Cross, she's going to deal with him. Even went as far as saying that you know me outside this house. If you try me, I will deal with you, I will wreck you, I will finish you. She was just going on and on, up to the point of saying that you know me, I know things about you. I know things about you outside this house. I will just open my mouth and talk. Guys, she was just outrightly threatening to spill Cross's secrets if Cross double crosses the house, in their weekly shopping. And guys, I felt like that was just too extreme. And I put out a tweet about this. I was asking that, why is it that with this Big Brother show this season, these housemates, especially those ones that know each other from home, why do they always toe the line of blackmail? You know somebody outside the house, you feel you know the person's lifestyle, and then when people have issues in the house, you begin to drag the person's secret. You begin to shame the person. Because there were a lot of suggestive things that Venita was saying. That you know how I met you outside the house. You know how I've caught you doing several things, and I already had this perception about you, and I had to come and ask you, and you had to explain things to me. Guys, when Venita was saying all of those things, you could see the fear on Cross's face. And let it not be what I am thinking. Because the so-called perception that Venita was talking about, I also know that perception that she's talking about, if you know what I mean. It was quite suggestive, So she was outrightly threatening this guy. And this guy was, you could see that Cross was literally shaking. He was scared of what, it was like he did not want whatever secret he had that Venita knew of him to be exposed. And so he started apologizing and explaining that no, he did not mean XYZ. In fact, he was having a conversation with Pere, at the door that leads to the garden, and Venita had come to join them, and she was also making drama, talking, and Cross had taken out time to explain to her that I cannot even slight the house like that. I can't even double cross the house like that, because I know that you guys are going to cut my head. You guys are going to kill me. So I can't even do that. Now, by virtue of how Venita was reacting, CEECEE was already shouting inside the house that if Cross tries me, hey, and there's no love lost between CEECEE and Cross. So guys, Venita's reaction just literally was stirring shit up in the house, and Cross was just exhausted. This guy was exhausted. Like, for him, how did that narrative even pop up in the first place? Why is he going to go and use the whole household's money to shop like that? Anyways, Cross cleared the air with Venita. She was still sort of aggressive, but then she had gone ahead to go clear the air with Soma. Now, later on, she was still nagging and talking and ranting. She had a conversation with ADEKUNLE, which was actually really time wasting for me, if I do say so myself, because she literally was reiterating the whole story from the beginning till that point in time. So she took her time and re-narrated the whole story from my own point of view, of course. And it turned out that she and ADEKUNLE, they were actually not on talking terms. It was because of that shopping experience that brought both of them together to talk. So as at the point where she and ADEKUNLE where she was talking to ADEKUNLE was kind of reluctant to engage her in that conversation, because guys, frankly speaking, it was quite draining. Even me that was listening was just very draining. Now, fast forward to last night. This whole drama now exploded. So Soma was trying to explain to Venita that, listen, for me to have come to tell you what I told you, it is because of what I observed about Cross's movement. It was because of one or two statements that he uttered that just made me put two and two together to understand that, okay, this is what this guy wants to do. This is his plans for the house. That there's a possibility that he wanted to do it. But when you started shouting, he probably had to quickly change his mind, because he now knew that somebody has gotten a whiff of his plans. But Venita was not listening. And you know how Venita, argues with people. You are not going to get a breather to chip in a word. She's going to be the one talking all through. So it's really frustrated Soma that he was trying to say his piece, but Venita was not giving him the room to talk. So he had left the conversation. Angel had been the one to sit down and listen to Venita talk. Soma, even ADEKUNLE at some point had even left the bed, because for him, he was tired of the whole talk from Venita. Anyways, Venita had now taken out time to explain to Angel. But later, Angel and Soma were having their late night meal at the dining. Neo had come to join them. Alex as well had come to join them. And Neo and Alex had given proper perspective to what had actually happened earlier that day. So it turned out that Venita overreacted on her own volition, not even by what Soma had said. Guys, I feel like my battery level is remaining 10% at this point. I'm exhausted. You know what? That's it. That is the whole drama. That's what it was about, and that is it. So let me know your thoughts about this whole issue, because guys, frankly speaking, yeah, I just feel like Venita needs to calm down. I mean, I get it. This is a game this season. It's a very, very cut-edge game, you know, quite audacious, but I just feel like sometimes she should just calm down, because, guys, I am drained. I am drained. This matter, this conversation is not supposed to even escalate, but even the way she's talking about it, it's putting everybody under so much pressure. Anyways, let me know what you think about this whole drama in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another video soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.